Incredibly strong, resourceful, and sometimes hot-tempered creatures. Even wolves do not always risk contacting them, but frosts and heavy snowfalls can be much worse than predators, and these ungulates need to make every effort to cope with the dangerous elements. Hello, friends, your time on the channel is useful, and today we will take a closer look at the winter life of wild boars. Winter becomes a difficult test for all ungulates. The more snow, the more difficult it is for animals, and wild boars are no exception. Heavy hooves do not hold the animal on the snow at all, and relatively short legs make moving on a blanket of snow a real challenge, especially in late winter and early spring, when the thickness of the snow becomes maximum. In this case, the wild boar has to pave the way with its entire body, which consumes an incredible amount of energy, which in winter becomes worth its weight in gold. Fortunately, the animal sneaks in for a reason. Apparently, distant smells suggest that the find will more than cover the effort expended. The sense of smell at this time of year becomes a real salvation, because the wild boar can smell a delicious delicacy even under a thick layer of snow. The hard snout easily copes not only with snow, but also with frozen ground, where nutritious roots are hidden. During the cold season, the boar's metabolism slows down, and even growing individuals almost stop gaining size. Saving fat reserves allows them to survive the most difficult times, and in order not to waste energy in vain, wild boars choose places with less snow and also use permanent paths, which is especially important when they are in a herd. For seasoned males who walk alone, this is much more difficult in this regard, but the prey they find is completely at their disposal, something that females and young individuals traveling together cannot boast of. Because food instantly attracts everyone nearby. Boars are quite cautious, but at the same time hot-tempered animals, and this primarily concerns their attitude towards their own kind. Ungulates constantly engage in fights to gain a higher position in the group, and when it comes to prey, fights are definitely inevitable. Fights can be comical, but in winter everything is so serious that older individuals can easily injure younger ones, because in the herd there is a rule: whoever is bigger and stronger is right. Sometimes the resulting injuries can be fatal, and in this situation the lone wolf was lucky to be the first to find the wild boar that did not survive the winter. In addition, the beginning of winter is the height of the mating season. At this time, the most seasoned males follow the herd, and if competitors appear, they try to drive them away with all their might. When the impressive size has no effect, a duel begins, during which the boars test each other's strength. Preferring to clash head-on, males try with all their might to avoid the sharp fangs of the enemy, which can cause dangerous lacerations. Finally, feeling the superiority of the opponent, the defeated animal retreats, and the winner leaves marks to secure possession for himself. In addition to cold weather and problems with food, predators become especially dangerous in winter. Using other people's trails, wolves effortlessly find resting wild boars. These united and hardy predators are not afraid of snow, because they know very well that potential prey is experiencing no less difficulties, so often the chase does not last, and the result for the boar can be disastrous. In times of famine, only scraps of fur remain from the beast. Everything that strong teeth can handle goes into the stomach of the predators. But the situation may change when the boars realize that running away is not the best solution. In times of danger, the ever-conflicting animals are ready to unite to fight back the hunters, and, not wanting to get involved in an unequal battle, the wolves quickly retreat. When attacking, predators expect their prey to flee, but when the victim's behavior becomes atypical, the situation can change beyond recognition. A huge cleaver is almost as big as a young bear, and although meeting them in winter is unlikely, in this case the wild boar was not at a loss, showing the owner of the forest who is in charge here. A lone boar will undoubtedly attract the attention of a hungry tiger, whose size allows him to subdue the largest prey. But the task for a predator is complicated by the fact that the wild boar uses its sense of smell not only to search for food, but also to protect itself from enemies. Ears are also always included in the work, and even a camouflaged target is often noticed from afar by vigilant ungulates. A large cat is not adapted to long runs, so even the not fastest boar has a good chance of leaving the danger zone in time. In winter, staying in open areas is dangerous. In order to avoid encounters with predators and hide from the piercing winds, animals carefully choose their winter homes. These can be dense thickets or bushes where wild boars feel safe. Of course, they can be active during the day, but they are mainly nocturnal animals, because in the dark there is less chance of meeting uninvited guests. Boars are quite frost-resistant animals. By winter, their fur becomes thicker and longer, which allows them to withstand severe frosts and sleep right in the snow, which creates additional protection from the cold. But here, too, mutual assistance comes to the rescue. In order not to lose excess heat, wild boars prefer to sleep side by side with each other, warming up against their neighbors, which again saves precious energy. In difficult times, wild boars are not averse to snacking on bark and even tree branches. But the sensitive nose detects not only plant foods, carcasses of animals that have not survived difficult times become a special delicacy. The calorie-rich trophy is torn to pieces in a matter of minutes, and the omnivorous nature of wild boars makes their life easier in many ways. However, despite their high adaptability, not everyone is destined to survive until spring. Only the strongest, most resilient and resourceful have every chance to cope with the adversity of the elements and continue the path of life. If you liked the episode, please support it with a like. Comment, subscribe and have a good time. See you soon.